Good evening. This is the National Weather Service here in Springfield, Missouri, January 31st, 2022. Monday evening, about 8:20, we wanted to give you a quick update on the upcoming winter storm potential for late Tuesday night through Thursday night. We have a winter storm watch out for a large part of the Missouri Ozarks, southeast Kansas, extending into Oklahoma, Arkansas, all the way up. This is a large storm system. We're expecting over 6 inches of snow over a wide area, especially northwest of Interstate 44. Freezing rain and sleet is expected along and southeast of Interstate 44. And this is where we're expecting some ice amounts over a quarter of an inch possible. We're expecting the rain to develop during the day tomorrow, Tuesday, and then rain will change over to a mix of freezing rain, sleet, and snow late Tuesday night through Wednesday morning. That wintry mix will probably reach the counties along the Interstate 44, kind of before the Wednesday morning commute. Mostly sleet and then snow is expected during the day Wednesday through Wednesday night and then through Thursday, and it may actually last into early Friday morning. So here's what everybody wants to know: the expected snowfall amounts. How much are we going to get? So let's talk a little bit about this because it's going to really vary depending on your location. So if you're across southeast Kansas into west central and central Missouri, from Pittsburgh, Kansas to Nevada, Warsaw, Osage Beach, and locations north and northeast of there, that is the area that we are most confident in that you will see 6 inches or more of snowfall. It's the locations along the Interstate 44 corridor from Joplin to Springfield to Rolla. That's where we are expecting amounts anywhere in that 3 to 6 inch, give or take, amount there, maybe a little bit more further to the northeast from Lebanon to Rolla. However, this is really going to be dependent on how much sleet occurs or does not occur before the storm system changes to all snow. If the sleet stays longer, these amounts will be less. If there is snow that starts quite a bit earlier than expected instead of the sleet, these amounts could be on the higher end. So don't necessarily focus on one specific number, one specific amount. These are some ranges to kind of get us in the ballpark. It's this area along the interstate that we're not as confident in because of that sleet. Areas that we are confident in a little bit more would be southeast of this zone. So if you're from Branson to West Plains, Alton, you are going to see some snow, but not very much, and that's due to freezing rain. That freezing rain is expected across generally areas south of Highway 54 before it turns over to sleet and snow. Some areas could see anywhere from a trace, tenth of an inch, kind of a glaze, to as much as a quarter of an inch, or slightly higher than that, especially east of Springfield as you head southeast, especially getting down towards West Plains and Alton going into north central Arkansas. So briefly, let's go through some of the chances for snow. As you can see, the chances for snow are very high. So these are the chances for 2 inches and 4 inches of snow. Very high, especially from the Interstate 44 corridor north. Now let's pause here on the 6-inch and 8-inch totals. So as you can see, if you're north of the interstate, Pittsburgh, Kansas to Lebanon, Rolla on north, the chance of 6 inches of snowfall is very high up to the north of that area, and it drops off further south. 8 inches of snowfall is also very high from Nevada, Warsaw to Osage Beach, and you can see how that potential really drops off further south. So a foot of snow, 12 inches of snow, very low potential except for areas from Truman Lake to the Lake of the Ozarks on north. That's where you may come close to that foot of snow. However, the probabilities are much less, in some cases near zero, further to the south. Ice potential, like we said, is going to be the highest southeast of Springfield, especially as you get into the West Plains region. Briefly talk about the precipitation types. So as you can see, this is the first block is the Wednesday morning commute. Joplin, Springfield, you're likely going to see some light freezing rain, whereas Branson and West Plains, it'll likely still be rain. However, during the late morning and afternoon hours on Wednesday, you'll see it switch over to a mix in most locations. and then getting heavier Wednesday in the Wednesday evening commute and Wednesday night. That's when it'll from Joplin it'll turn over to heavy snow, and eventually in Springfield it'll turn from a heavy wintry mix and over to a heavy snow. And the same thing at Branson, Rolla, and West Plains. By Thursday morning, in most locations, it will be all snow. And it will snow off and on during the day all the way through Thursday. So, impact wise, the later you go into the day on Wednesday is when we're expecting the most significant impacts. So, the Wednesday morning commute, there could be some impacts. The highest potential would be further north, up towards Rolla. However, during the day, especially as you get into the Wednesday evening commute, we are expecting a lot of impacts due to precipitation falling. It'll be cold enough to stick to area surfaces. That will last into the Thursday morning commute as well. Here's the winter storm severity index to kind of round out the severity of the storm system. You can see how expansive it is. The highest impacts of this storm will be especially across the areas from Nevada to Lake of the Ozarks on to the north. That's where we're expecting that most of the snow. However, as you can see, most of the area is also in moderate impacts. So we're going to see disruptions to travel. And in some cases, as you can get down here from Alton into north central Arkansas, you're seeing some areas of major impact show up, and that's likely due to the higher ice accumulations. So everyone's going to see some impacts from the storm system, really in any direction that you travel from Springfield. Wind chills will be 0 or slightly below, especially Wednesday night into Thursday. So if you get stranded or you're going to be outside during this time period, you really need to take that into consideration. And that's due to the wind gusts that will be increasing. These are wind gusts Wednesday night through Thursday, and they'll be in that 25 to 30 mile per hour range. Therefore, any locations, especially east of southeast of Springfield, may see some power outages even with lighter amounts of ice just due to these higher winds. So what can you do now? We are in the winter storm watch phase. We still have some time to adjust your travel plans. If you just absolutely have to travel during this winter storm, you just can't get out of traveling, then there are some things you could do. You can have a plan in place. You can let your family members know where you're going and which direction you're going. You can let them know when you get there. You can also have a winter car kit. Have some things already handy in the car in case you were to get stuck at a certain location. You can also have, if you're going to be in areas that might experience some heavier icing, or you're concerned about losing power, have an alternate way to stay warm, to have that way safely, to have enough essentials to get you through the storm system. So that'll end this briefing. We'll probably try to get you some additional information and updates. This is a rapidly evolving situation, so stay tuned to the forecast. Have a trusted way of receiving this information, and everyone stay safe. Thank you.